Now that the 2025 NFL Draft is officially over, I want to go over, break down, and grade the Green Bay Packers 2025 NFL Draft class. I am going to go pick by pick. I am going to break down and grade each pick. And then at the end of this video, or towards the end of this video, give an overall grade for this year's draft class for the Green Bay Packers. I think it was a very solid one. It was definitely a very electric one, that's for sure, with it being in Green Bay and drafting Matthew Golden in the first round and getting some electric weapons in general on the offensive side, and then defensively getting some really good solid players as well. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. If you're interested in more NFL content and Packers content in general, please consider subscribing. But let's get right into this video. Matthew Golden gets an A from me. The first time since 2002 the Green Bay Packers selected a wide receiver in the first round. And as soon as I heard the words "since the first time," I already knew we were drafting a wide receiver, and I knew it was Matthew Golden. I already started yelling. Very ecstatic for this pick right here. This is somebody who I had as a top 5 wide receiver, literally right up there at number 5. But he's a guy that I thought could have been even higher. I had him and Luther Burden ranked very closely. But Matthew Golden is a wide receiver that can do everything on the football field that you want from a wide receiver. Could run routes on all 3 levels, has phenomenal hands, has the speed, good after the catch, has the ability to high point the football, even though he's around 5'11", 6 foot. Easily could jump up there and high punt the football very, very well. Some of the better hands in this year's draft class, that's for sure. Raw running ability off the charts, like I said. One thing I like to see a little bit more from him, or I didn't really see that much from him because I think it was more the scheme at Texas. Just him playing against press man. He has some good releases off the line, but he had a lot of free releases on film. But this is an A pick for me, in this year's draft class for the Green Bay Packers. We needed another weapon, and Matthew Golden was easily a top 5 wide receiver in this year's draft class. I know he only has one great year of production at the collegiate level, but if you did watch college football and the playoffs in general, for college football, you know that this guy was showing up every week for that Texas offense, and he was easily their number 1 wide receiver over guys like Isaiah Bond. So this pick is an A for me, and I expect this offense to be really explosive next year with a guy like Matthew Golden essentially being our speed guy and wide receiver 1 potentially next year. The Anthony Belton pick, the tackle from NC State, gets a B from me. Really did like Anthony Belton in this year's draft class at the tackle position. Over 6'6", 6'5", 340-ish. Very physical, fairly athletic. A really good pass blocker. Run blocking rights is very solid. The reason it's a B and nothing higher is because I just don't think he's going to play that much this year. He's going to be a guy that really just sits down and develops this year, in my opinion, which is weird to say because he is 24 years old. This pick just ensures to me that Rasheed Walker is not in the Packers' plans going forward in the future. I still think Rasheed Walker starts this year, and maybe he proves to the Green Bay Packers that, hey, I'm the franchise guy, and he plays really, really dominant, but I still think Rasheed Walker is replaceable. Not saying he's a bad tackle, but to me, this pick basically ensures that Rasheed Walker is not going to be the future tackle or the franchise tackle for the Packers going forward. What does this also mean about Jordan Morgan? Who knows? But I do think the starting offensive line is going to be Rasheed Walker at left tackle, Aaron Banks left guard, center Alkin Jenkins, right guard either Sean Ryan, who's very solid for this team, or Jordan Morgan, who we did draft in the first round, who I'd expect to be the starting right guard since we did draft him in the first round, but who knows? And then right tackle, obviously, Zach Tom. So I think this is a very solid pick. I think this is going to be the franchise tackle at left tackle going forward after Rasheed Walker is done in Green Bay. But this gets a B from me. I think it's a very solid pick, a very high ceiling player in this year's draft class, in my opinion. The Savian Williams pick, the wide receiver from TCU, gets a B- from me. And the B- doesn't mean I don't like Savian Williams, because I think this is a guy that has a really high ceiling. He's fairly athletic, or not fairly athletic, really athletic. And he's a guy that you could put anywhere on the football field. Running back, kick return, wide receiver, obviously, in motion, slot. Like, he could go anywhere in the football field or anywhere on the football field. He's a guy that you just got to give him the ball because he's able to make guys miss, really good after the catch. Receiving wise, or wide receiver wise, he needs to work on his route running. That's for sure, and his route running and nuisances, and he needs to work on his catching. It's so weird watching his tape, especially because we drafted him a couple days ago. I've just been watching a lot of our guys' tape nonstop, but it's so weird watching his tape. He'll go up there, high point of football on a cornerback one play, and then the next play he'll drop the easiest pass of his life. And it's just like not a one-time thing, and it was only one time I've seen it. It's like a recurring thing. He'll make a really remarkable catch or a great remarkable catch, and then he'll drop a really simple pass. And it's more of the dropping simple passes than he's making more of the incredible catches. So That's not the greatest thing you want to see on film, but I do think this is a guy that could definitely improve when it comes to catching the ball at the next level. This pick, to me, the reason it's more of a B as well is because what does this mean for guys like Dontavian Wicks, Romeo Doubs, Christian Watson going forward? Especially because I think after drafting Matthew Golden, and I thought the Packers were going to be done drafting receiver in this year's draft class, I thought after drafting Matthew Golden, okay, this wide receiver room is very crowded, especially if we get Christian Watson back this season. Like, it's going to be very, very crowded. There's going to be a lot of mouths to feed in Green Bay, and I'm not even including Tucker Kraft, Luke Musgrave, or even the running back position and guys like that. Like, this is going to be a very crowded wide receiver room and just room in general when it comes to passing. So very interested to see what Matt LaFleur does with Savian Williams. I think Matt LaFleur is going to love putting him all over the football field. I do think Savian Williams is going to play a fair amount of snaps this season, whether that's a wide receiver, whether that's a running back, whether that's on special teams. He's just going to find himself playing a lot of snaps this season, in my personal opinion. So this pick does get a B-, but I do like Savian Williams a lot. Baron Sorrell gets a A- from me. This was a steal in my personal opinion. I thought this guy was a lock for day 2. He has been productive. He's a 3-year starter, 4-year starter, can't remember off the top of my head. Has been a guy that played in the SEC. This year playing for Texas, being really, really productive. He's a guy that had over 6 sacks, over 25 pressures, something like that. I don't have his statistics right in front of me, but he was productive this year. He's somebody that has some speed, has some power to his game. Maybe not the greatest bend and twitch ever, but has the speed, has some power, really active and fast hands as well. Really solid run defender, has the high energy and motor you want from an edge rusher. And if you've just seen the NFL draft, you've seen this cool moment he had when he did get selected by the Green Bay Packers. He was sitting in the green room or just at the NFL draft since Wednesday or Thursday, I believe, and then was able to see himself get drafted or able to see himself, walk out there in front of the home crowd and just embrace the Green Bay Packers fans. I think this is going to be somebody that's going to show up every day for the Packers. He's going to be a dog. A- for me. I had this guy going inside the first 3 rounds. To get him in round 4, in my personal opinion, is an absolute steal. The Colin Oliver pick, the defensive end / linebacker from Oklahoma State, gets a B+ from me. This is a guy who I thought if he didn't get hurt this year in 2024, based off his film in 2023 and what he did in 2 games this year, was going to get drafted way earlier. I'm talking about round 3, round 4 at the least. This is a guy that's a speed rusher, could play off-ball linebacker for you, could just play linebacker in general, but could play on that D line for you as well. I had him more as a 3-4 outside linebacker at the next level. I had him as a guy that the Packers would even target, but he did get drafted by the Packers, and I'm really ecstatic with this pick because he has something in that pass rush room that we don't necessarily have, and that's a legit speed rusher, a guy that just wins by straight speed. Bryan Cox, I guess you could say he's a speed rusher, and Baron Sorrell, but this is a guy that's a little bit lighter at 6'2", 240-ish, 6'1", I think, actually. And he's a simple, natural speed rusher from the edge. Do expect him to play a little bit of everywhere when that comes to off-ball linebacker and D-end for this Green Bay Packers team because he doesn't really fit that 4-3 D-end at all. But I'm really excited to just see what they do with him. This is a guy that can play everywhere, a little bit of linebacker, a little bit of D-end for this Packers team. And this is a guy that I think could be the third down specialist when it comes to pass rushing for the Green Bay Packers. Like I said, he's a speed rusher. We don't have that in that pass rush room. This is a guy that I think Jeff Hafley is going to have a lot of fun with when it comes to putting him and installing him to this defense. And even if he doesn't play at all defensively for this Packers team and he's a special teams guy, that's not bad to draft in the 5th round. Warren Brinson, the defensive lineman from Georgia, gets a C+ from me. Funny enough, I thought Nazir Stackhouse was the better option when we did select Warren Brinson. That was just my personal opinion. But we did end up signing Nazir Stackhouse as an undrafted free agent. So this pick did get a little bit of a bump. I was going to originally just give this a C, but I give it a C+ because we did end up signing Nazir Stackhouse as well. So Warren Brinson is a big dude, 6'5", 310. He's going to play that TJ Slaton role. I've heard Packers fans just say, oh, well, he's only at 2 sacks, so this is a bad pick. He's not going to be a guy that, gets sacks. That's one thing he's really not going to do. Although he has fast and active hands as a defensive lineman from the interior, and he is fairly quick, and he has the size, he's not going to be a guy that is a pass rush threat. He's going to play that TJ Slaton role. He's going to be in the interior. He's going to stop the run or try to stop the run. He's going to take up space, take up blocks, and make the jobs of others around him way easier. So C+ for me. I do like this pick a little bit more after we did sign Nazir Stackhouse as a undrafted free agent, who I thought was the better option when we drafted Warren Brinson. Micah Robinson, cornerback from Tulane, gets a B- from me. And I just gotta say this real quick. This is a terrible picture for Michael Robinson right here. This is from the official Packers page. You guys telling me you guys gonna have done better when it comes to getting a picture for Michael Robinson. This is terrible right here. But Michael Robinson is a guy that I really didn't know too much of. Really couldn't know too much of. The only game of film I saw from him was half of a game. So really didn't know much about his game, but did a lot of studying since yesterday. And this is a guy that I guess was very physical, really good against the run. I guess he was regarded or ranked or whatever you want to say as one of the higher cornerbacks in this year's draft class when it comes to stopping the run. So that's a huge thing. We have another physical and good cornerback against the run on this roster. Just adding on already into a very physical and good tackling cornerback group that the Green Bay Packers have in Green Bay. So solid pick. I heard this is somebody that's very good in zone coverage. He has ball skills. Having two plus interceptions every season at the collegiate level, I want to say. So that's a huge thing. So gets a B- from me. Don't know much about Michael Robinson, but solid ball skills from what it seems. Good tackler, really good against the run, very physical, solid size. Just more depth for this Packers team at the cornerback position. And finally, John Williams, the tackle from Cincinnati, gets a B- from me. I really did like this pick from the Packers. I know a lot of people are saying, well, we should have got cornerback with this last pick again, but John Williams is a guy that's 6'5", 320-ish pounds, really athletic or fairly athletic for a guy his size. He can move very well. Really good pass blocker, too. He's only allowed 3 sacks on over, 900 pass blocking snaps. Moves very well. 6'5", 320. Could probably play guard for the Green Bay Packers if they asked him to. But I think he's going to be more of a tackle for this team. This is just more depth. We all seen that Eagles game in the playoffs. We got killed when Elkin Jenkins got injured. So having more depth on this offensive line does not hurt one bit. I really do like this pick for the Packers. We're just adding more bigger, athletic guys on this offensive line that are really good pass blockers for Jordan Love and some really good run blockers as well. So this gets a B- from me. I thought this was really good value for where it was at in the draft. And somebody that's only allowed 3 sacks and over 900 plus snaps when pass blocking, very good still. Overall, I'd have to say give this Green Bay Packers draft class an A-. I thought it was a very solid draft class, man. I'm not going to sit here and say it was an A or an A++ and we won the draft because I don't think we did by any means, but I think we definitely got more explosive offensively. We got some huge dynamic weapons in Matthew Golden and Savian Williams. And I know everybody's going to be super intrigued to see what happens with Matthew Golden. Trust me, I am too. He's a top 5 wide receiver in this year's draft class, in my opinion. I'm more intrigued to see Savian Williams, to see what Matt LaFleur cooks up with him, because this is a guy, like I said, you could put anywhere on the football field. Put him at running back in the backfield, get some receiving reps from the backfield. Put him in the slot, put him in motion, put him out wide, put him punt return, kick return. I mean, you could do anything with a guy like Savian Williams. He's really athletic, can move very well. And his pro comp, if he ever gets to that status, is a Deebo Samuel. So, really do like this pick for the Packers with the Savian Williams. Probably my most intriguing, or the one I'm most intrigued by or most interested by in this year's draft class. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this year's draft class for the Green Bay Packers. What was your favorite pick? What was your least favorite pick? Who you would have drafted and who you think the Packers missed out on. It's been your boy Sports Culture. I'm out.